Well, our moms think we're funny.
Hey everybody, this is Turk182.
And I'm Acomi.
Oh man, how you guys feeling out there tonight?
You good? Everybody
Yeah,
good? All right.
me too.
I'm okay.
I'm feeling it, man. I'm feeling it. I got the feeling. Give me, baby, 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 baby. All right.
You good?
Yeah,
You're right, man?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm loose, you know. I can feel it. I shouldn't have done all that coke.
I've tried telling you, man. There's a movie centered around one night in Bangkok.
Oh, I guess it's just called that.
It might be about the chess tournament.
Huh?
I don't see how you could get like a full movie out of that, because it'd just be like, hey Pete, come on, man, let's blow off this chess tournament and we can go to the massage parlors and pick up some drag queens. And he's like, I'd really rather play chess. Thanks, guys.
So go back to your massage parlors.
Your bars, your temples.
So, thank you, Murray Head. All right. So, hey, what are we going to talk about today, huh?
Well, we could talk about movies, you know? We're both pretty big fans of movies.
I do like movies.
I watch them.
Yeah. I pirate them.
Now, I think it's safe to say that given the opportunity to write or perform in a film, I think we would both be pretty eager to at least look into that.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely. Provided it's the right one. You know, I don't want to be a part of something that is... I don't want to be a part of something that is going to be like... You take a chance on things, you know. Sometimes you're like... for example, you and I... Well, I know I love League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Right,
I think it's a fun movie.
It is. It's a very fun movie.
And League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is a movie that Sean Connery kind of took a chance on because he passed on Lord of the Rings. He didn't understand it,
Right.
as I recall. And then he did.
What the bloody hell was a Hobbit?
And then he did League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and which I don't think he probably fully understood either. And then, of course, the movie did not do well, and he retired after that. And then, of course, the director of that, because he had such a hard time making that movie, never made another movie again. But anyway, so, you know, it's like, it has to be the right thing. You don't want to end up, like, thinking it's going to be something good, and it turns out to be like a Theodore Rex,
right,
you know?
Right.
So...
Because, you know, that kind of thing can stick with you your entire life.
It can.
And even if you stop being an actor, it's still something that, you know, if it's historically bad enough, you still won't be able to shake it.
Right. I mean...
Case in point is the kid who played Child Anakin.
Exactly.
He got the ever-loving shit bullied out of him, and...
You know, and I'm going to say that's not entirely his fault. No, I'm going to say entirely his fault. It's not his fault at all. That is the fault of George Lucas for casting him.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
I mean... Yeah. So, I mean, I'm going to lay that at his feet. You cast the wrong person, and then everybody jumps on him, be like, for being bad. It's like, yeah, but he was only as good as the source material, and two, he was only as good as the director.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, all he did was follow the script, and it's not his fault that it had a retarded-ass line like, yippee! So, somewhere along the way, you know, that happened and Lucas made it happen.
Yeah.
So we can start with that. Would you have accepted a role in let's say the sequel trilogy of Star Wars?
The sequel trilogy, meaning Force Awakens.
Yep.
And okay, so what is my role?
You know, let's say that, like, not an extra, but like a minor character, you know? Because I think if we were to say lead role, then that would, you know, that's a pretty prominent thing. It's kind of hard to walk away from that kind of money.
Yeah, but also, that lead role when shit goes bad, you're the face that you can't walk away from, regardless of whether or not it was your fault or not.
Yeah.
When you're the lead, you're the face.
Let's look at it from both ways. Would you do it if it were just for like a minor secondary role? You have speaking lines, you'd get those credits for the SAG, but not a lead character. Let's start with that.
So am I only in just the one movie, or am I in all three?
It's been so long since I've watched the first two, and I never watched Rise of Skywalker. I don't remember. Are there minor characters that repeat across the whole trilogy?
I think Captain Phasma, the one stormtrooper chick,
okay,
or lead stormtrooper chick, I think that she is in all three. Of course, I haven't seen the last one either, Rise of Skywalker.
Gotcha.
But I think that she is in all three. Now, of course, the good thing about that is she's in a stormtrooper guise the whole time. So, of course, I'll play that role. Sure, why not?
Well, let's say that people are going to see your face, okay. So you won't get that out. We'll say that you have at least some speaking lines in all three films.
Okay, so I am a regular character in all three films, probably with maybe, let's say, 10 to 15 minutes of screen time?
Probably around there. Probably closer to 10 than 15, I would think.
Okay, but enough that people are going to remember me being in each movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's say that your agent pitches this as, this very well could open up the possibility of future casting.
And it's in the Star Wars sequels.
Yep. Keeping in mind that this is a trilogy so bad that neither of us have actually watched the third movie.
Yeah.
So. I love the Mothra twins. I mean, they always cast different people for them, but the characters are cool.
Yeah. It's against my better judgment, but I would have to say yes.
Okay.
And the reason why I say yes is, one, it's Star Wars, right? So there's some movies that I would pick a role in, no matter how bad it is, because I'd be like, I'm in that movie, I'm in that franchise, I'm in that one. I'm a part of it.
Yeah, no matter how bad it is, you're gonna make money off of a franchise like Star Wars.
Right. Granted, I'm not gonna get points off the back end or anything like that, but right, but I could be fuck you, I was in Star Wars. So it doesn't matter if it was a good one or not. I was in Star Wars.
Right. Okay.
And so I would have to say yes. Now
let's say
because it is iconic, and the thing is, good or bad, it's not going anywhere.
That's true. But on the same token, good or bad, it's not going anywhere.
But it's Star Wars. That's the thing. Is even the bad Star Wars movies are still watched by people, regardless. They're still owned by people.
That's true.
I ended up buying the last Die Hard movie. Was it Die Hard, Leave Me the Hell Alone, whatever. It's so fucking bad. I don't even consider it part of the main thing at all.
The Die Hard.
Yeah, I consider Live Free or Die Hard the last one.
Okay.
And I don't even consider the one A Good Day to Die Hard. That's it. I don't even consider that part of the truth, because nothing about that is anything like the other movies.
Right.
His character, McClane doesn't act like doesn't act like he does any other movies. He's not even the same character. I got it not because I bought it, because I didn't care if it was a part of my box set or my thing.
Yeah.
I ended up getting it somehow. I think it was I bought something else. It was a 2-pack, and that came with it.
Okay.
I didn't actually set out to buy it because I was never going to make it a part of my collection.
Right.
But the Star Wars movies, though, is one thing, you're going to get constant rotation on TNT and TBS and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, even if they're bad, when people sit down there and be like, okay, I'm going to like watch Star Wars, like the next movie's coming out, right?
Right.
They're going to start from the prequels, whether they like them or not, and watch all the way through. And you're going to watch your 3 bad like sequels to get to the next one.
There is that. Now let's say that that they managed to provide you with screenplays to all 3 films, and so you see exactly how bad it's going to be. Would you still go for it?
It's Star Wars, man.
Fair enough.
I mean, that's it. That's the only thing I can say is it's Star Wars.
Fair enough. I would probably do it, but Star Wars doesn't mean the same thing to me as it does a lot of people. I like it, but it's not something that I would consider having shaped my life like a lot of things.
I have found over time that that is where I wouldn't have thought it before. That I am more of a Star Trek guy than a Star Wars guy.
I think I am, but honestly, I think it's just that I tend to gravitate more towards fantasy than I do sci-fi.
So you're more of a Hobbit guy than a Star Wars guy?
Not Hobbit, Lord of the Rings.
Well, I'm sorry. I meant a Tolkien guy. More of a Tolkien guy.
Like Lord of the Rings, I would say shaped my childhood, shaped a lot of like my approach to storytelling, so much of a big reason why the comics that I'm working on for my personal projects are like sword and sorcery and sword fighting stuff is because of Lord of the Rings. So yeah. Now, speaking of The Hobbit, I only ever watched the first one, but I hear that trilogy is really bad. So.
I heard that the Desolation of Smaug was better, but again, I watched the first one and I was like, man, this is nothing like the Lord of the Rings movies.
Yeah. So would you take a role in that?
In what?
In the Hobbit trilogy?
Hobbit trilogy.
Hobbit trilogy. Incomprehensible singing.
So part of me says yes.
Randomly shoehorning shit in from the Silmarillion.
Part of me says yes, but the only reason I would say yes to that is because I would probably be in heavy makeup. So for the most part, you probably wouldn't recognize me.
Maybe. And like Orlando Bloom is still pretty recognizable.
Yeah, but in his defense, though, he could be in the Hobbit movies and then still fall back on, yeah, but I'm Legolas, and remember how I was such a badass in those other movies? Yeah.
So, I think if I saw the screenplays and saw how bad The Hobbit would be, I don't know if I could really bring myself to take on a role with any of that. Lord of the Rings, I would have been all over. There's like no question because those movies are absolutely brilliant. I love those. All right, let's look at something that is just unquestionably bad.
I think it's my turn to ask you.
Oh, okay. Well,
okay.
Hit me.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to give you 2 scenarios here.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to put you in the same kind of category. But you're like 10 to 15 minutes of screen time.
Okay.
So when I say that, though, that doesn't mean that it's all going to be at one point. You may have like maybe 5 minutes here, maybe 3 minutes there, and then you may have like a big 10-minute sequence or something like that.
Sure.
So 10 to 15 minutes of total screen time. And you are in the majority of the movies. Okay. So you're in the majority of the movies. You may not be in every one. Like you may not have been in like the first one or the second one, but you may have been like the first one, the third one, and like the fourth one.
Gotcha.
All right. Twilight.
I was just about to ask you about Twilight.
I beat you to it.
I don't think I could, honestly.
Really?
It's so stupid. Everything about it is stupid. And like, again, kind of like Lord of the Rings, like I consider like those types of horror films something that really shaped and developed me.
I'm sorry. You play a vampire.
Fuck no. I mean, that's
the other one's going to be you play a werewolf or a shape changer. I always get the Twilight things shit because I say they're not werewolves because they don't have the in between phase.
Yeah,
they're just guy to wolf. But then American Werewolf in London, he went from guy to wolf, but he wasn't just a wolf. He was a fucking badass demon looking wolf. Yeah. So that's a little different.
And he still had like human-esque musculature and stuff, even though he was full wolf. But, just like,
they're all like slickety and airbrushed and effeminate looking with their soft liberal hands and
So
that's the thing. It's like vampires are badass and werewolves are badass, and Twilight makes them wussy as hell, and it pisses me off.
So it doesn't matter to you whether it would be a vampire or a werewolf. You would still pass.
No, because I like vampires and werewolves equally, and they're both fucking retarded in that film franchise.
I don't think you can use that word, Acomi.
No, I'm not talking about the differently able. I mean, I don't have... Damn it, you made me break it. But yeah, no, like, you know, you look at as far back as the Universal films, and like, vampires are just notoriously scary and badass.
Yes, they are.
And even if they're a little foppish and a little dandyish, and you know, you have something like the Bram Stoker's Dracula movie with where it's Gary Oldman as Dracula there, right?
Oh yeah, the Francis Ford Coppola one. Yep.
Yeah. And so like he's a terrifying Dracula. Or whether you're looking at something like, you know, Lost Boys or whatever, like you can have like less super masculine vampires.
Or Fright Night.
Fright Night, yeah.
Jerry Dandridge.
See, like, that's what I think when I think vampires. So I think seeing Twilight and seeing what that was about, I just can't get behind that. And similar thing with werewolves, where it's like, if I'm going to be involved in a werewolf project, I want American Werewolf in London. I want dog soldiers. I want something...
Dog soldiers.
Like, there's nothing about the werewolves in Twilight that instills or inspires fear or awe for me.
Right.
But it sure as hell does in American Werewolf in London, and it sure as hell does in Dog Soldiers. So, yeah, I couldn't get behind that stuff.
You know, and to say that like, this is my interpretation of vampires, that would be like me inviting you over to my house for spaghetti, and I boil you noodles and then pour tomato soup over it and go, well, this is my version of spaghetti.
Right, you boil macaroni noodles.
Right.
And pour tomato soup on it.
And then be like...
Squirt some ketchup on it.
Right, and be like, no, this is my version. Like, no, you don't get to have a version, you know?
Yeah, it's just like, up to that point, it's just like, no, this isn't it. This ain't it, Chief.
Yeah, it'd be like me walking into Best Buy and walking out with a big screen TV, give them $1 and be like, no, this is my version of like of $2,000.
Yeah, like it ruins everything that makes it cool. And keep in mind, Anna Kendrick had a role in the Twilight franchise.
I was going to actually come to that too. It was like, you would miss out on being next to her.
I would very intentionally miss out on being next to her.
Wow.
I would miss the opportunity to be in the same room and breathe the same air as Anna Kendrick for a paycheck rather than be on Twilight. I just could not do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a bold statement.
Yeah. And I'm not a proud man. There's a lot of shit I'll do for money. But...
don't I know it? Shit, I'm broke today because of that.
But yeah, so how about you? Twilight.
No, fuck no. No, you don't even have to answer that question. I mean, ask me a question like, Twilight, no. There's nothing about that I can look at and be like, oh yes, this screenplay looks good. This acting looks good. I mean, you know, she did the equivalent of a John Byrne in the book.
A John Byrne in the book.
You know, we always talk about making fun of John Byrne for the Alpha Flight issue where Snowbird fights the thing, and it's all nothing but white panels and word balloons.
Yeah.
In Twilight, when the person that wrote that, apparently there's a part where like the lead character was so sad that she couldn't write, and there's nothing but like 10 pages, blank pages in the book because the character was so sad. It was to show that her depression because she didn't like write in her diary or something like shit like that. I'm like, what the?
Well, if you skip days in your diary, you don't have to skip the pages, Bella.
But she's not writing the diary. You're still telling the fucking story. I mean,
right?
So anyway,
Wow.
But I'm like, there's no way I could. I wouldn't be able to deliver the lines. Okay, so let's break this down here. No, we're not talking about the movie. First off, this girl's like all of 16. He's like 300 and something.
Yep.
All right. So jailbait much. Plus, what kind of fucking existence is it that you have to go to school every year and carrying on this pretense, like, oh my goodness, I would fucking die.
Yeah, for 3,000 years? Fuck that shit.
No. Like, fucking homeschool me. You ever thought about that?
Right?
I mean, just like no.
And of course, I mean, what it ultimately comes down to is that this teenage girl is trying to make a decision between, do I want to have sex with a corpse or with a dog?
Right, because, you know, both of them are really good options.
Right? Like, God forbid that you have sex with a nice, normal human. No, choose between bestiality and necrophilia.
And both of them are against the law, by the way.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, there's few movies that make me as viscerally angry as the Twilight series, and it's just dumb as hell.
Yeah, so I would definitely pass.
All right.
It doesn't matter if it was werewolf or vampire. I'm done. And you know, the bad thing is that you look at it, and it's like so many, like, I'm not going to call it all good, but there's so many, like, fairly good actors or decent actors are in that movie, and you realize, like, they were in Twilight. Like, oh my God!
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did you do that? It's almost the equivalent of looking at a group of black actors and realizing that they were all in a Tyler Perry movie. At least in their defense, like, if you were a black actor, the only way you could get work was doing a Tyler Perry movie, right? I mean, that was it. It's like, if you're a black actor, like, and you want to work, you do a Tyler Perry movie, you know? It's okay to cross-dress for Christ. It is. So, but these people had options. They were all white. Yeah.
All right. What about 50 Shades of Grey?
All right, what's my role?
You know, I don't know enough about the movie, because the only thing I know about is the lead guy and the leading lady. Like, or I would assume there have to be other characters in that. You can't make a 2 or however long hour film.
Well, the guy's supposed to be, like, super rich.
Yeah.
And again, we're almost talking about the exact same thing, because that started off as a
Twilight fanfic.
Right. So we're still back to where we started from.
But it's like softcore porn for suburban moms.
Right.
So you gotta, like, rather than making softcore porn for Hot Topic teenagers, it's softcore porn for suburban moms. So
Twilight is softcore porn for Hot Topic teenagers.
Yeah. And how do these Hollywood executives who approve these projects, like, look themselves in the mirror to shave without cutting their own throats? I don't know.
I don't know. That's why you have so many neck beards. It's like they know they can put a razor anywhere near that. So I'll just ignore that altogether. I'm gonna have to say no.
What if you were leading man?
I still have to say no. Because here's the thing. People still love Twilight. They've talked about. I think they even maybe did like a Twilight anime or something like that.
Really? I knew there was a manga.
Okay, maybe it's a manga.
And it is shitty.
You got the novels. I guess some people maybe still read the novels. You got the movies and stuff like that. And I think they've been talking about doing a like a reboot, right? But people still watch it. People still love Twilight. I hear nobody either talk about 50 Shades the book or 50 Shades the movie. It came, it went, it died.
Yeah, very quickly.
So the only thing I would get out of that is a paycheck and a bad reputation.
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta say no. Even as a lead, I gotta say no.
Yeah, I don't think I could do it.
Mm-mm.
And like, even if it were something where I could get past a lot of the stigma and stuff, and like the bad quality in general, it's like, from what I understand, it's not doing a good job on educating people on the nature of BDSM.
Right.
At all. It's like a really poor representation of that. So even if it were getting over the stigma, getting over the bad reputation and all that shit, it's like, but then I'd be attaching myself to a project that's really just feeding people bad information and feeding into them having a lot of misconceptions about something.
Right.
And, there's never a point where ignorance is going to, like, benefit in a situation like that. Like, it's just going to make people stupider and more dangerous, and you don't want that. So,
You can tell the mark of a really bad movie is when it can't even be parodied.
yeah.
That's when you know it's a really bad movie.
Yeah. I mean, well, this is like self-parody, basically.
Yeah. So, and here's the other part of that is, for me, if I got the lead, that means that they would pay, for me to get in shape too. Like I'd end up getting, like a personal trainer, because if I'm going to be the lead, I'm going to, have to be naked and all that kind of stuff. And I still wouldn't do it. No.
All right.
So yeah, I got to pass on that one. So I think you asked me, and I'm going to ask you.
Yep. Hit
Hobbit.
Hobbit? Yeah, well, we already pretty much talked about that. Yeah, I don't think I could really do it. Well, you know what? I think if I saw the scripts, I would have a lot of doubts about it, but I would probably do it just because, it's like,
talking.
yeah, it's like it's still a Peter Jackson film. It's still that universe. So even if I didn't really like the project, if I were a pretty minor character, I think I'd be okay with that. Because, like, I'm trying to contextualize it of, like, well, at least it's not Twilight or 50 Shades of Grey. So, I think I could do it. I wouldn't enjoy it, I wouldn't like it, and I would be sure to tell people it's like, here's the issues I have with the film. But yeah, I think I'd take a roll with that.
Okay.
I'd much rather Lord of the Rings. I would love to be in Lord of the Rings, but...
All right. I can see that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what other is like a good like series that like either start out as shit or turn to shit. I'm trying to think of something. Like part of me, like I can think of some movies. Like for example, earlier when we were flipping through channels, I was like, you haven't seen The First Crow yet.
Right.
First Crow is great. All the rest of them are garbage. Of course, you get all those straight-to-video sequels, which are all garbage.
I thought there was only The Crow and Crow 2.
No. You got one with Edward Furlong and Kirsten Dunst, and yeah, they're just, yeah.
Okay.
And the Crow Stairway to Heaven TV series wasn't too bad. But now, I mean, so let's say if I offered you like a role in a good movie, like a John Wick, obviously you say yes.
Oh, hell yeah. Like, even if it was just as an extra getting shot, I'd take that.
Okay, how about this? And I'm pretty sure I know what the answer is going to be, but even though normally you don't have a person like this, but you don't have a big role, but you have a rather it's not a big role, but it's a reoccurring role, like kind of minor character reoccurring role.
Okay.
In Nightmare on Elm Street.
What's the reoccurring role?
You play like I don't know, like a dream, I don't know, like a caretaker of the Freddy lore, something like that.
Oh, shit,
I don't know.
I'd be all over that.
Even though as the movies got worse as they went through,
They got worse, but there was no point in the movies that I didn't find them entertaining. So, like, they're cheesy as hell, but yeah, I'd be in any of those franchises. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Friday the 13th, any of that stuff.
Halloween?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's, it's not something where I'd be bragging about, oh, look at what a prestigious project I'm attached to. It's just a thing where it's like, yeah, this is cheesy as hell, but damn, I had fun doing it.
Okay. I got one for you.
Okay.
Again, it's like kind of like a regular role, not like a big deal, but you probably have about 10 minutes screen time per episode and per movie.
Okay.
And your scenes play prominently with the main actor.
Ooh. Okay.
So it's not like you're just like in some background stuff. The original Superman series.
Yeah.
So Superman 2,
Right.
and then Superman 3, and then Quest for Peace.
Yeah.
You go with that?
I mean, I haven't watched those, but and I know that they don't have the greatest reputation. But yeah,
Oh,
you
no,
know,
they suck.
I mean, that's fine. You know, I'm fine with that.
Really?
I'm not really married to like the Superman story. You know, we've talked about that so many times on the podcast. I like the Superman story as a Jesus story. I don't think it needs to go beyond that analogy.
That's
But,
because you haven't seen Quest for Peace.
But yeah, I mean, I'd attach myself to it, and it's like, you know, it's a cheesy movie. It's dumb, but you know, I'd do it.
Quest for Peace is the one where like was it the nuclear man or Nuclo flies the woman into outer space and she doesn't like blow up, like implode or freeze to death, and he flies her back in and she doesn't burn up on re-entry.
I'm fine with that, dude.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right, cool.
yeah. Like I would totally do that. Okay, so I got one for you.
All right.
Ready Player One.
Lucky there's only been one movie, so
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't know. They just came out with Ready Player Two, which I hear that book is not as good. As, that's just what I hear.
I bought the audiobook. Haven't listened to it yet though.
But yeah. So far, there's only the one movie. There could be more, but yeah. Would you? And let's say that you'd be a slightly more prominent character in that one.
So
Like maybe one of the Gunters or something.
So I've read the book.
Mm-hmm.
I've read the script. God, this is.
I found your breaking point.
Okay, so here's my dilemma.
I,
Is as a fan of the book and a complete despiser of what I know about the movie, that I'm like of course, you know, I want no part of the movie. I haven't even seen the movie, even though I was so anxious to see it. I haven't seen the movie at all. But I also know that being in the movie, that there are going to be a lot of people who have read the book who will accept it for what it is.
mm-hmm. Like me.
There will be people that read the book that hate the movie
Yep.
for what it is. But then you're also going to have a fair amount of people that don't know shit about the book that will love the movie.
There you go.
And that's where, when I look at it, I'm 2/3 of a strong fan base, to where I'd have to say that I could separate my, as a viewer, I would not watch it. As an actor, I could swallow my pride. I could choke on the rinds. And I could be in that movie. God damn it, I could be in that movie.
All right. See, I could do it, but like I don't hate the movie quite like you do. You know, it is very different. It's, you know, it's missing a lot of stuff that was in the book, and I think there's a lot of moments where they fall away from what it's all about, because it's not just nerd culture, pop culture. Very much of it is like specifically the 80s. It's about a guy who was obsessed with the 80s and loved the 80s and wanted to make everybody else obsessed with it. And so anytime they divorce themselves from that plot, it's typically at the expense of like an 80s tribute.
And then they try to sucker me in, man, with Kaneda's bike.
Yeah.
They try to suck me in with Kaneda's bike. And the thing is, it took me so long because I was like, it's Kaneda's bike. He's trying to, before I was like, wait a minute. There's no race in the book.
Yeah.
There's no cock-a-doodie race.
Yeah, because in the book, it's all about the Tomb of Annihilation. So, which, if I recall correctly, that wasn't in there. Like, the race, getting through the race was what got him the first key. So, yeah.
There wasn't any playing joust and...
No. So yeah, so it's like the race, like the only really 80s reference thing about the race is like Kaneda's bike, and like King Kong is a hazard, and there was like a 70s Kong movie, I guess.
Oh yeah.
So like an 80s...
One with Jeff Bridges and Jessica Lange?
Yeah. So like, you know, an 80s kid would be into...
Oh, check this out. There was actually a sequel to that called King Kong Lives that had Linda Hamilton in it, where they make King Kong an artificial heart.
Yeah, I remember that movie. I watched that as a kid.
Really?
Yeah. And after that was Son of Kong, right? Or no, that was the 30s series. But yeah, no, I mean, I would do it,
But, it's exactly like you're saying. It would be more to introduce people to the book and saying, hey, check this out. I took this role because I love the source material so much, and even though the movie's different, I took the role out of a place of love.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think I'd really have any hesitation with it. Because, the final product, I was entertained all throughout, and, I spent most of the movie pointing out the differences to my friends, saying, oh, this was different in the book, and they were like, shut up. But,
Okay.
but yeah.
I got one for you.
Okay.
Now, you're not in the first two movies, but your character, and they're very prominent characters, so you get a fair amount of screen time, let's say 20 to 30 minutes of screen time. And you're not the main actor, but you're one of the principal actors.
Okay.
And so you come in about maybe, in these sequels, you come in about like movie 3 or so, and then you're in the next like 3 or 4 of them.
Okay.
Okay? Prominent character, like people are going to see you and they're going to see you and they're like going to know like, hey, that's Acomi, right?
This motherfucker right here.
Yes. All right. X-Men First Class. You're not in the first 2, but you're in the sequels.
Those are pretty bad. Would I be in Age of Apocalypse?
Yes, you would be. So
would be.
you wouldn't be in First Class, and you wouldn't be in Days of Future Past, but you would be in Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix and whatever that other pretty shitty ass one was too.
Fuck.
and you're promised you remember the X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
You get to play Bishop.
Bishop's pretty cool. There's a lot of things I would do for a paycheck, and I don't think I'd be proud of it, but I think I could do it. I think I could take the role.
So you would play a young Bishop in the 3 sequels to the X-Men First Class movies.
I think so, yeah.
Now you do remember that Bishop is black, right?
I mean, if Hollywood's okay with it.
Well, no, they're just going to cast the white guy as Bishop.
I mean, then I'll get canceled. So, I mean, my only official statement would be, it's an honest mistake.
Maybe Bishop is white guy. No, I could make you. I could give you somebody better than an actual white character. I mean, it's not like the X-Men doesn't have enough of those, right?
I mean, really, the only one I'd be truly embarrassed to be seen in would be Dark Phoenix. The other ones aren't great, but they were watchable. I was entertained by the other ones. Dark Phoenix was just shit. But
Apocalypse was shit.
I mean, it was not good, but I was at least able to watch it. There were moments in it that I enjoyed, unlike Dark Phoenix. So,
wasn't there one in between Dark Apocalypse? No, she manifested Dark Phoenix at the end of the Apocalypse. Wasn't there one before that though?
There was First Class, Days of Future Past, and yeah, then after that was Age of Apocalypse.
Was it?
Yeah. Because First Class was like
60s, 70s, 80s.
I thought it was 70s, 80s, 90s.
Well, the First Class is 60s.
Okay.
60s, and then 70s. 80s was Apocalypse.
Oh, between Days of Future Past, after that was Wolverine. Right?
Yeah, but his moves were all standalones.
I thought it tied in because Professor met him in the time stream, right? Or what am I thinking?
Well, no, the Wolverine movies were all like the Wolverine movies.
Yeah.
Because in the end of the Wolverine, the stupid one with the Silver Samurai.
Oh,
and,
that one, yeah.
And he's like, oh, I got this thing that's draining my powers, and like none of the people actually act like they're actual characters and that kind of shit. Anyway, in the end of it, he goes to because that's all takes place in the modern day. He goes to the airport, and Magneto and Professor Xavier freeze everybody in the airport, and they're like, we need your help. Even though that scene doesn't make any sense because they need his help in the future, and to send him into the past, so they wouldn't know that he needed his help then, because it's like it doesn't make that scene doesn't make any sense.
Right. Right.
They need his help in the future, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever, yeah. So it was like they were trying to like make it make sense, but it didn't.
Yeah. No, I'd do it because it would be steady income. It's like pretty much any time that we're like channel surfing, we see those movies playing even now, and like I'd rather be in the MCU than in the Fox X-Men universe, but it would be a big opportunity financially, even if I'd be associated with a bad thing. But it's like I'm closer to the MCU characters than I am the X-Men anyway.
Yeah.
So it's not as much of an assault on my nostalgia in my childhood.
For me, it's just bad movies and have to
they are bad movies.
Bad dialogue and having to work that close with two people I can't stand.
Trying to remember if there's anybody in there I like truly can't stand. Can hang out with Patrick Stewart though, man.
No, you can't. You get to hang out with James McAvoy, maybe.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's not bad. Or Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, he's okay. Yeah, they're all right.
Nicholas Hoult is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's 3 people.
And I could ask Famke Janssen about Lady X.
No, because she's in the other X-Men movies. She's not in those.
Oh yeah, damn.
Yeah, you got Cody Smith-McKee.
This is how completely uninvested in these movies I am. So that'd be my first day on set. It's like, yeah, so where's Patrick Stewart, guys? Guys? Sorry, he's not in these movies, so...
Oh, here's the thing. Excuse me, Mr. Malik, I was wondering if you saw my copy of X-Men Apocalypse? No, I wasn't in that movie. Yeah, you were. No, if I was in that movie, I think I would remember. I can't sign your movie if I'm wiggling around like this. I mean, how can you take a talent like Rami Malek and like completely waste him in that movie? Holy shit.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay. You got one for me?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Joker.
Oh, see, it's not a franchise though, but who am I?
The casting is really weird, but we'll say that you'd be like one of his comedy partners, somebody who's regularly performing on stage before his focal scenes.
Okay, yeah, because I'm a funny guy.
Okay.
So I don't mind outshining him.
All right.
I'll say this: I would be in the Joker movie, even though I would disown that as a Joker movie.
Okay.
But I get to work with Joaquin Phoenix, and I actually like Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
So I think that would be cool, and then of course I get to unveil my comedic styling. So
yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so I do that.
What if they gave you a really shitty script?
Well, you said it's a Joker movie, right?
Yeah. I mean, so yeah, you just like, follow the shitty script for the stand-up routine. I would still have the opportunity to work with Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah, and Robert De Niro would be on set some days.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know a lot about Todd Phillips, but I think I never really, the first Hangover movie I watched, I was entertained. I never felt the need to watch it again.
Right.
I've never seen the other ones, but from my understanding, Todd Phillips is a pretty good director. So I think I'd be, I could learn something from him. So I'd be okay with that too.
Yeah. I mean, you and everybody on the podcast already knows I like the movie, so I'd be all about being on it. I don't consider it bad. I wish that it were part of a different franchise and universe. I wish that they didn't call it Joker. I wish they would just let the movie stand on its own merits, but, I also get it, because it's a hard sell, It
was unnecessary. I think that's what I really dislike about it, it was unnecessary.
It was unnecessary if you're trying to call it Joker,
Right.
But that's the thing. Again, it goes back to it being a hard sell. It's one thing if people say, hey, who here wants to watch a movie about the Joker? And keep in mind, this was like, things were big with Justice League at the time. Things were big with Suicide Squad. Mm-hmm. And everybody was just latching onto the fact that, oh, finally, it's a Joker who's not Jared Leto. Because for whatever reason, people don't like Jared Leto, even though I think he's great.
But people also knew that it was a standalone, like, non-canon movie. So I'm like, what am I getting out of this? I just don't get it.
And so, like, the alternative to that is if it weren't actually part of the Joker and not part of the Batman franchise, then instead you say, well, hey guys, we've got this movie about this lonely outcast with mental issues who eventually goes crazy, and he's got kind of an unhealthy fixation on clowns. That's not an easy sell. It's kind of hard to convince people that they want to see a movie about that. And it's like, there are still weirdos like me who would be like, that sounds like it could be interesting, and then, you watch it and you enjoy it. But, for a lot of people, they just would not have been interested in seeing it if it hadn't had the name Joker attached to it. But, I'd rather it just be a cult classic. I'd rather it be an obscure thing that not a lot of people know about, and that it didn't, it didn't sully the Batman franchise by trying to shoehorn itself in there.
So, I got one for you.
Okay.
And this one, you are a fairly prominent, just like the other one. You got like 30 minutes, and you're one of the main characters. So out of this franchise.
Mm-hmm.
You are, out of the group of actors that are in this franchise, like you would be a part of that family, let's say.
Okay.
So you're a member of the family.
I'm ready.
I figured you would have gotten it from that.
No.
Fast and Furious.
Oh, hell yeah.
What?
Yeah, I'd be in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
you think because of the bald head you can be Jason Statham? Handsome Rob?
Handsome Rob. He's not in Fast and Furious, is he?
Yes.
Jason Statham is?
Jason Statham, he's like the bad guy.
Oh, cool. Hell yeah. Yeah.
He killed one of the only cool characters. I will say that's the only thing I thought was interesting about Fast and Furious, because they tried to make all the movies canon.
Yeah.
So you had the first one, then you had the second one that didn't have Vin Diesel, because Vin Diesel was going to the I don't do sequels thing. I live my life. Whatever. But
I could fill in for Vin Diesel.
But Vincent Diesel didn't he didn't do the second one. And then the third one is the one that had Bow Wow in it and Lucas Black. I like the way you talk. And that's Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, and isn't Tokyo Drift the one where they like drive the car out of a plane or something?
No.
Am I thinking wrong?
Tokyo Drift's got some hot ass Asian chicks in it though.
Yeah, I know.
But anyway, but Tokyo Drift, of course, is pretty much non-canon to the end, where Vin Diesel makes a cameo where he's going to race against Lucas Black.
Yeah.
But there's a car crash near the end of it where the one Asian guy gets killed. They then later retconned that by, in one of the other movies, Jason Statham, who was like a cop, like going after them.
Yeah.
He is the guy that rams the other car and kills the guy, because that guy is in like the Asian guy's in the fourth one. So the other movies take place like prior to the fourth one, and then we jump back to modern day. And Jason Statham, they show him like hitting that car and killing that guy and being like, "I'm coming after your family there" thing.
Okay.
To make everything like all make sense, which I thought was kind of neat.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I've only seen, because I can't stand Tyrese. So
Okay.
I've only seen the first one and the third one.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of them, but like the premises are so stupid that it's like it's hilarious to me. And again, it's one of those things where it's like, it's not like I'd be telling people, "Oh yeah, I was in this prestigious film that's going to change your life," but it's going to be able to say, "Yeah, I did this dumbass movie and I had a lot of fun doing it."
And then remember, you're part of the family.
Yeah, I'm
so that means you're driving a car. As much as I want to say no, the only thing that would make me want to be in the movie would be, one, I get to actually be, share some screen time with Ludacris. That'd be kind of cool.
Right.
I could share some screen time with Gal Gadot. Be kind of cool. And The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of iffy on Jason Statham. I used to really like him. But then he got into that whole little like bitchy war with Paul Bettany over no reason. Like, I do my own stunts. You don't do your own stunts. He's like, I'm the Vision. Like, what's
You're right. I'll learn how to fly. Dick ass.
So
okay.
So that would make me be like, yeah, okay, I could see maybe being in that. But at first thought, though, I'd be like, I don't want to be in this, in this in this what passes off as a movie.
Okay. So I've only got one more, or actually, we've been going for about 50 minutes.
Really? Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap.
Yeah, time flies, man. Time flies. So you got one more, or you want me to toss out one more?
No, you can toss out one more.
Toss out one more, because it started off good.
Oh, no,
okay.
No, because I know what your answer is going to be, so never mind.
Okay. This started off really good, and it turned shitty over time. Spy Kids.
Spy Kids only had 3 movies, though, right?
Nope. They brought on new kids, new actors, whole bunch of dumb shit. It was like 5 or 6 movies in the long run.
Really? Were
Yep.
the other ones straight to video or something?
I guess so, yeah. And I didn't watch them. I didn't even know they existed until I was like 25, and then I started learning about them. But they look shitty as hell, I'll tell you that.
Because I only... But you said they brought in new kids and like new... Okay.
Yep, but you'd be consistent. You'd be a recurring character, not unlike Floop. I mean, when I was a kid, I loved Spy Kids 3. I thought it was a lot of fun.
That's the one with Elijah Wood and Sylvester Stallone, right?
Yep.
Spy Kids.
Game Over.
Game Over.
Yeah. So I liked that, and I loved Spy Kids 2, Island of Lost Dreams. That was a very whimsical movie. The
first one was the one that had I can't think of the guy's name now, but he played he was in GoldenEye and he played Nightcrawler, right?
I think so. Yeah, that sounds
right.
And then that was the one with the Fooglies.
And the Thumb People, right?
Yeah, the Thumbs.
And then the second one is the one where they brought in the girl from Hannah Montana, the Sixth Sense guy's sister, right?
Yeah, whatever her name is, Gertie.
Yeah, she had the spinning pigtails.
Yeah, Gertie.
Okay. But what was the? Because they were competing against, because they actually turned out to be bad, right?
Yeah. And so, that was the Island of Lost Dreams with Steve Buscemi and all of his...
right, he was creating the creatures on the island.
Yep.
Okay.
And that had that awesome line, do you think God stays up in heaven because he lives in fear of what he created? So let's see. Holy shit. It looks like there was only No, there was more. Then there was Spy Kids 4, All the Time in the World, in 2011.
Okay, I kind of remember that one.
And what else was there here? Looks like there was Spy Kids Mission Critical? Is that one? Yeah. Oh, that was an animated series.
Uh-huh.
So it looks like there was only 4. Okay.
Okay.
I thought there was more than that. Well, then maybe never mind. For some reason, I thought there was like 2 or 3 others besides that. Yeah, I mean, I loved the first movies, but I don't know enough about that last one to.
I would say yes.
Okay.
So and now here's my reason why. Let's see. 1, Salma Hayek. 2, Carla Gugino.
Mm-hmm.
No, wait. Scratch that. Reverse it. 3, Antonio Banderas. 4, Mike Judge. 5, Ricardo Montalban. Fucking Ricardo Montalban, dude. I get to be in a movie with Ricardo Montalban. I don't care if he can walk or not. Fucking Ricardo Montalban.
He's pretty awesome.
Right.
Now that I'm seeing that the only one I don't know about is All the Time in the World. So.
Let's see. I was up to 5, right? 6, Steve Buscemi.
Mm-hmm.
7, Danny Trejo.
I was about to say Danny Trejo.
8, Cheech Marin. Okay.
Yeah.
9,
Uncle.
Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
10, Sylvester Stallone.
30 seconds, yeah.
But
And you also got George Clooney as the president.
Oh, shit, Negro. That's all you had to say.
And you also get to see George Clooney impersonate Stallone as he transforms from Clooney to Stallone. So he's like, it's time for me to get my revenge for you imprisoning me, for using me. And then he transforms into Stallone.
So yeah, the only thing I don't know about is All the Time in the World, and maybe that's not as shitty as I'm thinking it looks, but it looks pretty bad. There's a dog and there's like small kids and a toddler on the cover, so it kind of makes
Did
me want to
did Robert Rodriguez direct that?
let's see. Oh, ooh, it's starring Jessica Alba.
Oh, I remember that one now.
Ooh, yeah, it
With
was
Jessica
directed,
Alba as the mom.
it was directed by Robert Rodriguez, yeah. Joel McHale, Alexa Vega, and Daryl Severa are still in it.
Wow, Joel McHale from Community was in it?
Yeah,
All right.
he must be the dad.
I've seen Jessica Alba.
Okay, yeah, shit. So that wasn't a challenging one after all. I just didn't. I thought that there were like multiple movies besides that. I must have been thinking of that animated series. Because Mission Critical. Yeah, I was thinking of the animated series. It looks really bad. Okay. Anyway, okay, well, hey. I'd say that's about all the time we've got for today's adventure.
I would agree.
But, yeah. So we learned that there's precious few movies that Acomi would not be in. They got to be really, really stupid before I would refuse. And Turk has slightly more discerning taste.
Well, I'm just saying, man. I mean, like the being able to either work beside or meet some of those actors. Yeah. Yep.
All right. Well, anyway, I've been Acomi.
And my name is Turk182.
Thanks for watching us, listening to us.
Yep. And I think we've pretty much said that for the most part, we are sellout whores.
Pretty much. I can live at that.
Yeah. As I sit atop all my piles of money.
I'll dry my tears with wads of cash.
And I'll say, use it to soak up all your hate, eat it like a delicious meal. Suck that shit up like a biscuit. This is my hate-sopping biscuit.
You may ask how I sleep at night. Buck-ass nude, so you can suck these nuts.
Hate.
Don't hate. Loathe entirely. I'd be in that movie.
What?
In The Grinch.
You look like a broke-ass sexual chocolate. So, all right, everybody.
Love y'all. Bye-bye.
Zang, yo.
All right there, folks. That was Our Moms Think We're Funny. Let's give them a hand.